Shedeur Sanders isn't buried on the depth chart. He's being protected. Katherine Hickman's slip just exposed a move so calculated it could flip the entire NFL. But are the Browns hiding genius or a ticking time bomb?
4 of the 5 guys got waived the next day. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything to you. Boy, it means something to you. It means something to you if Dillon Gabriel was the guy playing with the threes and they got waived the next day. That would mean something to you. Doesn't fit your narrative. Doesn't fit your narrative.
Narrative? I don't understand your emotional investment in Shedeur.
Tony Gia has been the most emotionally invested in Dillon Gabriel. Since the day Shedeur Sanders got here, he has been pounding the drum of like, oh, why doesn't Dillon Gabriel get going?
That's what all of this is about. Now, Shedeur Sanders has proven time and time again his arm strength is there. His accuracy is there. He might misjudge a little bit with holding the ball too long, but overall, his standards as a quarterback is there. He checked every damn box. And for whatever reason, they want to go see Archie Manning. They want to sign Bailey Zapp. They want to hype up Dillon Gabriel. And Shedeur Sanders is not giving a fair shake. Well, I'm here to tell you.
Yeah, it's actually a great question, Daryl. That's what makes our job fun and hard. I'd say I just go.
When they get to go in that's when I know she really don't know what the hell she talking about. When they get to going, I'm telling you, bruh.
Go back to like the plan that we have in place for these guys when it comes to developing is acquiring as many valuable data points we can. Now we know these things take time. So what is that going to look like at the end of the year? I don't have a crystal ball to tell you, and I don't do well with hypotheticals, but I will say that every opportunity we will have to evaluate them, we will take. None of them is going to take, a back seat in how we plan and program for them with the reps that we have. And then from there, we'll see what the spring brings and we'll evaluate all possibilities.
The Browns assistant GM just let something slip that changes everything. We thought we knew about Shedeur Sanders' position on this roster. While everyone's been debating why the kid who broke 100 school records is sitting third string, Katherine Hickman accidentally revealed the real strategy during what seemed like a routine press conference. She talked about acquiring as many valuable data points and evaluating all possibilities come spring. But here's what she didn't say, and that's got the entire NFL world buzzing. The Browns aren't developing Shedeur for failure. They're positioning him for something much bigger, and it's not what you think. What happened in that press conference room might have just exposed the most calculated quarterback chess move we've seen in years.
Player than Dillon Gabriel. I think drafting Dillon Gabriel in the third's pretty bold.
I didn't love that pick.
So my theory was they're no dummies. They've been around Jimmy long enough. They realize that as Shedeur falls, he's going to force them to take Shedeur Sanders. So they go, listen, we'd love to take this guy in the 4th or 5th. Let's take him now so it kind of shuts him up. But then Shedeur just kept plummeting. They didn't have a choice once they got to the 5th round.
You just told me, see, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to go Shedeur. I would say that that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, a conversation later that day. The right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. He made the call to pick Shed, just like who's going to start or what play we're going to call is Kevin's call. But that's Andrew's call to make the call. Look, I'm going to be straight with you from the jump. What we're about to dive into isn't just about football. It's about respect, strategy, and the kind of behind-the-scenes maneuvering that could reshape how we look at quarterback development in the NFL. And before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because this story has layers that most people are missing, and I'm about to break it all down for you. Here's what really went down. Everyone's been losing their minds over Shedeur being the third-string quarterback, right? The media has been having a field day. Fans are heated, and even reporters are getting into heated debates about it. But what if I told you that Katherine Hickman, the Browns assistant GM, just accidentally gave us the blueprint for what's really happening? During her press conference, when asked about quarterback development in such a compressed window, she said something that should make every NFL fan pay attention. She mentioned they're acquiring as many valuable data points as possible, and that they'll evaluate all possibilities when spring comes around. On the surface, That sounds like typical GM speak, right? But dig deeper, and you'll realize what she's really saying. The Browns have 2 first-round picks next year. They were spotted at the Texas-Ohio State game getting cozy with potential prospects. But here's the twist. They already have their guy, and his name is Shedeur Sanders. They're just playing the long game in a way that's so calculated, it's almost genius. Think about it. If Shedeur was the starter right now, what would happen? The pressure would be immense. Every throw, every decision would be under the microscope. One bad game and the media would crucify him. But by keeping him at third string, they're controlling the narrative while giving him the development time he needs without the crushing weight of expectations. Meanwhile, everybody was sadly comparing Arch Manning to Shedeur because of the whole last name syndrome. They compared him to Bronny James. They compared him to everything. My issue, as a Texas fan, is how people reacted to Arch Manning. Some were like, oh, they don't treat Arch Manning the same. But plenty of people jumped the gun saying, he's terrible, he's awful, it's all last name hype. And speaking of narratives, let's talk about practice. The footage that's been coming out shows Shedeur absolutely lighting it up, throwing dimes, hitting receivers in stride, looking every bit like the quarterback who broke over 100 school records at Colorado. But here's what's wild. They're still keeping him at third string, even though he's clearly outperforming expectations. Cameron Justice has been covering this, and what we're seeing is a pattern. Shedeur shows up, balls out in practice, and yet the depth chart doesn't move. Why? Because the Browns know something we don't. They know that other teams are watching. They know that if they put Shedeur on the practice squad, another team would snatch him up immediately. So, they're keeping him on the active roster, developing him quietly while everyone argues about whether he deserves to be there. But let's address the elephant in the room, the hate. And man, there's been a lot of it. People have been coming for Shedeur's neck, saying he doesn't deserve the attention, that he's overhyped because of his last name. But here's what kills me. Where was this energy when he was putting up video game numbers at Colorado? When Shedeur was throwing for 4,000 yards, breaking school records left and right, leading Colorado to their best season in almost a decade. Back then, people were calling him a first-round talent. Media pundits were singing his praises. But now that he's in the NFL and facing some adversity, suddenly everyone acts like he never had it. The double standard is so obvious it hurts. Let's talk about Arch Manning again. When Arch had his moment against UTSA, people were ready to crown him the next great quarterback. But when he struggled, what did people say? Oh, it's just development. He needs time. The system isn't built for him yet. But when Shedeur has one rough preseason game playing with guys who got cut the next day, suddenly he's not NFL ready and overhyped. Come on, man. The hypocrisy is real. Shedeur is 6 feet 2 inches with bigger hands than Dillon Gabriel. He's got a stronger arm, better mobility, and a track record of success that speaks for itself. But because he plays with confidence and carries himself like he knows he's good, people want to tear him down. Here's what I think is really happening. And this ties back to what Katherine Hickman said. The Browns are playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. They drafted Shedeur in the 5th round not because they thought he was 5th-round talent, but because they knew they could get 1st-round talent at a 5th-round price. And now they're developing him without the pressure that comes with being a high draft pick. Think about how other project quarterbacks have been handled. Anthony Richardson got thrown to the wolves immediately. Lamar Jackson had to prove himself from day one. But Shedeur? He's getting the luxury of time, learning the system, getting comfortable, without the crushing weight of being the guy right away. Hickman's comments about spring evaluation are crucial. What she's really saying is that they're going to let this season play out, see how Dillon Gabriel performs, and then make their move. If Gabriel struggles, Shedeur is ready to step in. If Gabriel succeeds, they've got a valuable backup who could be traded for significant value. But there's another layer. The Browns know Shedeur has a following. His popularity isn't a weakness, it's an asset. In today's NFL, quarterbacks need to be brands. Shedeur already has that. People are watching, people are talking. That translates into revenue. The Browns know this and they're not going to waste it. So, when Tony Gia and others say Shedeur should just accept being a 5th rounder and stay in his lane, They're missing the bigger picture. This isn't about draft position anymore. It's about talent, potential, and the long-term vision of a franchise. The Browns coaching staff sees this in practice every day. They see Shedeur making throws Gabriel can't. They see him extending plays, creating something out of nothing, showing playmaking ability you can't coach. They also know development takes time. Hickman's spring comments are telling, because that's when the real evaluation happens. If Shedeur continues to develop at this pace, spring could be when everything changes. And here's what's really wild. When athletes in other sports show swagger, we celebrate it. But in football, especially for young black quarterbacks, that confidence gets labeled as arrogance. Shedeur knows he's good. He's proved it everywhere he's been. Asking him to dim that confidence is asking him to deny who he is. Great quarterbacks don't get great by being humble about their abilities. They get great by believing they belong and working to prove it every day. And that's exactly what Shedeur is doing in Cleveland. The Browns know they have something special. They're protecting it, not wasting it. Hickman's comments confirm they're playing the long game. Dillon Gabriel will get his shot. If he succeeds, great. If he fails, Shedeur is waiting. Either way, the Browns win. But here's the real question. Are the Browns playing this perfectly? Or should Shedeur be getting more opportunities right now? Are they protecting a future franchise quarterback or wasting his talent? And when Shedeur finally gets his shot, will all the doubters finally admit they were wrong? Let me know in the comments, because this story is far from over. The Browns might be sitting on the steal of the draft, and Katherine Hickman's slip might have just confirmed it. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more insider analysis on the real stories behind the headlines, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're just getting started, and trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next. Until then, keep watching, keep questioning, and remember, in the NFL, nothing is ever what it seems on the surface.